If unforgiveness is an issue for you, my dear friend, then Matthew chapter 18, I'm reading for you. Please read alongside. This is Stefan Hager. Matthew 18:18 says about what you lock on earth will be locked in heaven, and what you unlock on earth will be unlocked in heaven. So I would love to unlock today by reading that story when verse 21, Peter comes to Jesus. He asks, Lord, how many times should I forgive my brother when he sins against me? What do you think? What would Jesus answer? Peter says, up to 7 times? Jesus answered, I tell you, not 7 times, but some translations say 70 times 7 times. But some they translate 77 times. That's because the Greek is not so clear. But what is clear? It means you forgive, you forgive, you forgive. Uncountable forgiveness. And why is this? Because you and me, Stefan Hager talking to you from Switzerland, we are basically sinners. We fall short of the standard which God has set for human beings before the fall, because we are a fallen sinner. So we should forgive the other one. But Jesus, he tells the story about how much you should forgive, because he talks in stories. Because some of us find it difficult to accept what he says if he doesn't tell us in stories. And he's a storyteller. We read on, the kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to collect all the money his servant owed him. As the king began to do, a man who owed him millions of dollars was brought to him. The man was not able to pay. So his master gave an order. The man, his wife, his children, and all he owed had to be sold to pay back what he owed. The servant fell on his knees in front of him. Give me time, he begged. I will pay back everything I owe. The master felt really sorry for him. He forgave him what he owed and let him go. He totally forgave him. That means he didn't want any of the money back. He said, you're forgiven. It's cancelled. It's done. It's deleted. Verse 8:28, the story goes on. Then that servant went out and found one of the other servants who owed him a few dollars, just a few dollars. He grabbed him, began to choke him. Pay back what you owe me, he said. The other servant fell on his knees. Give me time, he begged him. I will pay you back sometime later. But, verse 30, the first servant refused. Instead, he went and had the man thrown into prison. Can you imagine? The man would be held there until he could pay back what he owed. The other servant saw what had happened. It troubled them greatly. They went and told their master everything that had happened. Verse 32. Read along with me. Then the master called the first servant in. You evil servant, he said. I forgave all that you owed me because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have had mercy on the other servant, just as I had mercy on you? In anger, his master turned him over to the jailers. He would be punished until he paid back everything he owed. This is how my Father in heaven will treat each of you. Each of you will be treated like this unless you forgive your brother from your heart.